Hi, I'm Starborn. Remember, to be a star, you have to shine your own light, follow your own path, and not be afraid of the darkness, because that's when stars shine brightest. If you've been looking at our website, starborninstitute.org, you'd already know that the title of tonight's show is A Better Balance. And that sounds rather nice, doesn't it? It sounds sort of like things can even out a little bit, and that's true, they can. The reason why there can be a better balance right now in your life is because the planets are so well balanced. There are 10 planets, but there are 3 planets trining each other among 3 different elements. So there's 3 planets in the earth signs, 3 planets in the air signs, and 3 more planets in the water signs, and only 1 in a fire sign. But at least all of the elements, fire, air, earth, and water, have something in them. But it's the fact that these planets, where there's 3 each, is an indication that planets have support right now, and that can bring about a better balance. For instance, in the earth signs, the Sun and Uranus in Taurus are being trined beautifully by Pluto in Capricorn, and together they are trining the sign of Virgo as well. But the Sun is now at the 29th degree of fate in Taurus, where there is a blind star. And because it's the last degree in the sign, it simply means that some financial matter has to be concluded now, in one way or another, because that Sun doesn't have any more room to move in Taurus. So some financial matter has got to come to an end in one way or another. And we just had a fabulous new moon in Taurus, so maybe it's going to come out okay. But the thing that makes it nicely balanced is that Pluto in Capricorn is trining the 2 planets in Taurus, and that simply means that there can be a lot of support and backing from older people or influential people in large corporations or government agencies that are behind this idea of a need to conclude a financial matter. So there's some sort of conclusion that has to come about, but it's well supported, so that could be good. So if you have a little financial problem in your life, maybe you'll achieve a better balance in handling it right now, which would be rather nice. The other planets are working very compatibly as well. For instance, in the air signs, Venus and Mercury are in Gemini, and they are trining Saturn, which is now in Aquarius, and together those 3 planets are also trining the sign of Libra. Well, that's wonderful, because Libra rules partnership and Venus is its ruler. So it's trining the sign it rules. And Saturn is a very steady planet. When Saturn and Venus are trining each other, that is an indication that old friends stick together. And so this is a time when, yes, you could be very popular, even if it's for just a temporary or short-term period, or popular at some event that you attend. But at the same time, you can have the support and backing of very serious people. And these may be people that can help you turn yourself around a little bit so that you're perhaps doing something new in the future. And they would be people that would have very good advice for you. But the good thing is you've known them for a while, and they're very loyal to you as well. So a congenial partnership is certainly possible, even if it just turns out to be temporary. And you can have support and backing from good old friends that are really in your corner. And that can make a problem a little easier to manage, particularly a relationship problem. Maybe that can work out pretty well. And then, in the water signs, there are 3 planets trining each other as well, because Mars is in Cancer right now, and it is trining Jupiter, which has entered Pisces. Jupiter's only at 1 degree, but it's in Pisces. And it is joining Neptune, the ruler of the sign, which is in Pisces, and they are both trining that Mars in Cancer, and together those 3 planets are also trining the sign of Scorpio. So this is a time when perhaps the tide will turn in one way or another. In other words, Mars is a pretty energetic planet. It's not too happy in a sensitive sign like Cancer, but it has a lot of marvelous support right now from Jupiter and Neptune in Pisces, which is a very healing sign and a very forgiving sign. All the water signs rule healing. So there is the possibility that if you're having a problem that has been going on among your family members, or about some sort of real estate transaction, or if there is some epoch in your life that could be coming to an end. Cancer also rules endings. Instead of it being frustrating and a little bit emotional, it could really settle down, particularly when you learn more truth behind the scenes and justice is done. It can turn into a manageable conclusion or a problem that can be solved. So those three planets, each in the earth signs, the air signs, and the water signs, are providing a better balance in the heavens, and I think a better balance in our lives. However, there's one planet left, and it is that moon in Leo. That gentle moon in Leo is beleaguered. And the reason why is that, first of all, there aren't any other planets in the fire sign, so it doesn't have any support from the sign of Aries or Sagittarius, sort of standing on its own. And the moon rules our feelings, and it rules children, and sports, and entertainment, and leadership, and being an entrepreneur. But it is sort of taking a beating right now, particularly regarding some financial matter. And the reason why is that the Sun and Uranus in Taurus are squaring it, and Saturn in Aquarius is opposing it. Well, Uranus is a malefic planet, and Saturn is a malefic planet. And so that simply means that if you had taken a gamble on anything, you would have lost right now. The funny thing is, it may be that somebody may have decided to take a gamble, and this might be a woman since the moon rules women, take a gamble on something that involves, say, a leadership role, or involves being a leader somewhere in the world, or even just being head of their own organization. But there's something wrong with the money, or the big money is being extremely challenging right now and perhaps not cooperative at all. And so the game is up. If there's been a person taking a gamble, they've lost. It might be just now that they are understanding they've lost. I don't think this is going to slow them down too much, because they'll turn around and try something else. And we are having a total lunar eclipse next week at 5 degrees of Sagittarius, which trines the sign of Leo. So they may be beleaguered this week. Leos might be a little puzzled or beleaguered or even shocked by the fact they may have lost a gamble. But on the other hand, they can turn right around in about another week and start something new, which would be great. So even though we are thinking that we can manage our problems better in a more balanced way, there can still be other problems beneath the surface that we have to attend to, or that others have to attend to. And these would be the kind of problems that are sort of lurking within us, the kind that we don't talk about very much, or the kind of problems that are slowly coming to the surface after the pressure of the pandemic sort of goes away a little bit and we have to deal with them. So I'm not saying that every problem is going to have a happy solution, but at least we're heading toward the solutions, which is good. It means that we can go forward for something better, and that our problems can be handled and managed in a more balanced way. All right, what does this mean to an Aries? Aries. Remember, at least the moon is in Leo, trining your sun. For weeks, there haven't been any planets in fire signs. But since the moon in Leo is trining your sun, Aries, it simply means that there could be a rather glamorous woman around that thinks that you're wonderful, or would want to join you in some effort, particularly any new beginning that you're thinking of making. Now, Aries people love to make new beginnings, and you could be preparing for some summer fun. Well, that would be great. Summer fun is sort of ruled by Leo because it involves having fun anywhere. So this is a time when you could probably relax a little bit, Aries. This would do you a lot of good, and somebody else could join you. Even if there was a problem that couldn't be solved, or a gamble that either you or somebody else has lost now, still, if you get together with people that like you, you can certainly enjoy yourself and sort of take the pressure off that way. So old friends stick together right now, Aries. So I think that this is a time when you should enjoy the company of people you've known a long time, because they would enjoy you as well. Okay, what does it mean to a Taurus? Taurus. This is a time when you certainly can handle some sort of financial transaction that's got a deadline on it. And the reason why is pretty much that you'll have to. And that is because the sun is in your sign, but it is at the 29th degree of fate, the last degree in your sign. Uranus is there too, and they're both trining Pluto in Capricorn. But because the sun is at the 29th degree and there's no more room for that sun to move in Taurus, you're going to have to decide or make some sort of decision about a financial matter. This could be a big financial matter, like a big move. This could be a reallocation of your investments, since Taurus rules investments. This could be a change in in what you want to do in your future. And in order to change your future plans, you probably have to change the way that you are either acquiring money or spending money. So you have a pretty serious decision to make right about now, Taurus. And you did just have a wonderful new moon in your sign, so I think that you're on the right track. But I hope that whatever you're thinking of in regard to finances has nothing to do with gambling, because whoever gambles is going to lose now. And that is why you just need to be as brilliant and as on point as you can about the dollars and cents right now, Taurus, and you must conclude a matter. In other words, tie it up and try to get past it. It's going to be a little bit hard on you this summer because Mars will go into Leo and it will square your sun sign. But still, try to do your best right now, Taurus. And you have strong backup from influential people in large organizations or government agencies. So you could lean on your old friends if you wanted to, Taurus, and I think that you should. Because this important financial transaction or decision has to be done now. Okay, what does it mean to a Gemini? Gemini. Well, Venus and Mercury are in your sign, and Mercury is your own ruler, and they are both being trined by Saturn in Aquarius. Now, Saturn is a real slow-moving planet, and because it moves slowly, you could almost think of it as slow but sure. And Saturn rules time, and it rules old age. So since it is trining Venus in your sign and Mercury, there is the possibility that you can be hearing from old friends or people who are really in your corner, Gemini, and like you very much. You could be not only more popular than you think, but you could be highly revered by people who may not have taken you seriously before, but they're sure taking you seriously now. That's interesting because Saturn is actually going to stay in Aquarius and keep trining your sun for the next 2.5 years. And so it's especially nice that Venus is in your sign right now. You will achieve a very congenial partnership somewhere along the line, possibly even two of them, since your sign rules a duality. But you'll also have the backing of wonderful old friends that can really help you out, Gemini. Even if they don't move as fast as you do, they're really steady, and that can count. And so try to make time for them as well. Okay, what does it mean to a Cancer? Cancer. Mars is in your sign, but it's being beautifully trined by Jupiter, which is now in Pisces, along with Neptune, the ruler of the sign, which is also in Pisces. You are about to come into a lot of information that had been hidden for a while, Cancer. And I don't know why you're getting it now, but it can be a deluge of information. In other words, there could have been a lot of things that were hidden behind the scenes that maybe nobody was talking about, or maybe you're just going to meet somebody that can fill you in about things that have been going on even long ago. And that can turn out to be a blessing in disguise. It can help you and others heal from past disappointments or wounds. And so that will be all right for you, Cancer. And that will somewhat mitigate the fact that Pluto is opposing Mars in your sign. Because that simply means that you're not going to get cooperation out of everybody, particularly from people who are high up in corporations or large government agencies. So you'd have to be very patient and go back again and again if you're dealing with those people. But on the other hand, you can be somewhat blessed behind the scenes with information that comes out now that can really help you heal. And you're going to be very happy about something coming up pretty soon, Cancer. And I think that it will be a little bit like closing an unhappy chapter in your life, because you finally have some answers to something, and that'll just free you up to move on, and that'll be great. Okay, what does it mean to a Leo? Well, Leo, you know, the moon is in your sign. That's good, Leo. It can certainly make you want to shine. It can make you want to be active in sports or with children or in the entertainment field. You can certainly be at your best right now, particularly around other people, and share in their same feelings. So that can all be pretty nice. But on the other hand, if you've been taking a gamble with anything, you have lost, Leo. And the reason why is the Sun is at 29 degrees of Taurus, and Uranus is in the sign as well. But the moon today is at 25 degrees of Leo. The sun and the moon are in almost exact square to each other. And that always denotes indecision or confusion about something important. What would it be? Money. And so, Leo, you know, I hope you weren't counting on something too much. And the reason why is that if there is something around that you would like to have, it may be somewhat out of your reach, budget-wise. So possibly your budget cannot quite afford what, you know, you could have big eyes right now, Leo, and want to go for something, but maybe your budget is not really going to allow it. And if you've taken a gamble, you could even wind up with some bills or debts that you owe. So you'd have to really take care of that and get rid of it first, because there is a financial transaction which has to be concluded now. And somehow I think that you're involved with that, Leo, so do your best. Okay, what does it mean to a Virgo? Virgo. This is a time when you can certainly benefit from the 3 planets that are in Earth signs, because they're nicely balanced, and that's going to help you, Virgo, because the Sun and Uranus in Taurus are trining your Sun, and Pluto in Capricorn is also trining your Sun. Pluto is retrograde right now, meaning there can be changes in management at the top in large corporations or government agencies. And in fact, Pluto is just the first planet to go retrograde. There are going to be many more. So as we get into the summer and time goes on, there will be more and more retrograde planets, and that is going to slow everything down. And so this is a time, Virgo, when you should almost try to plan for delay. That delay would be in things that are beyond your control, such as the plans that your employers have for next year's budget. It may not be anything that, I mean, it could affect you, but you're not in the decision-making mode, and they are having to do that now. A lot of companies can be going through a kind of a wealth transfer where they may be anticipating consolidation or mega mergers or something that protects their income and raises their profits. So generally, if you want to raise profits, you do it by cutting costs. And so, Virgo, I don't think that your career is threatened, but I think that there are things beyond your control that are not being decided in an easy way right now. And you would be wise to do your best right now and wait and see what happens. Because the sun is at the 29th degree of Taurus. It's exactly trine the 29th degree of your sign. That means a financial matter has to be concluded in one way or another, and that will affect you, Virgo. I don't think it's going to hurt you, but it will affect you. Okay, what does it mean to a Libra? Well, Libra, it's nice that things are better balanced now, because after all, your ruler is Venus, and it's trining your sun sign, because Venus and Mercury in Gemini are trining your sign, and so is Saturn in Aquarius. And so that simply means that if you have some forward vision that involves your future, which is what Aquarius rules, you are almost going to have to go back to square one and start something yourself. It might be a better education. Maybe you need more training on something in order to qualify for something in the future. Well, that was a good time to think about that. That planet, Saturn in Aquarius, is going to be trining your sun, Libra, for the next 2.5 years. You may as well take on some serious challenge, because I think it'll work out well. A long-term plan will work out better even than a short-term plan. But there's nothing wrong with the temporary plans either, because Venus and Mercury in Gemini are trining your sun. So I think a very congenial partnership in anything that you're doing right now would delight you, Libra. And I think it'll just make you happy, because I think you're in the mood for happiness right now. We all are. It's like, who wants to be down from a pandemic all the time? It's been a tough year, but it's over and we're moving on. And it isn't like we're forgetting anybody or anything, but the human spirit always wants to rise. And that's what we can all do now, particularly because the planets are better balanced and because they're going to start going retrograde, which is going to slow things down and give us a chance this summer for all of us to take a break. Wouldn't that be nice? Okay, what does it mean to a Scorpio? Well, Scorpio, this is a time when, once again, just like Leo, you're going to be affected by the fact that the sun is at the 29th degree of Taurus, because it is opposing the 29th degree of your sign, Scorpio, and Uranus is in Taurus as well. And Saturn in Aquarius is also squaring your sun. So, Scorpio, there is a financial transaction that must be concluded now. It's like there's no more room to move. There's no more delays that you can think up. There is no reason to not conclude something. It's just got to be done. Now, this could be a little hard on you, because if the sun and Uranus are opposing your sun and Saturn is squaring your sun, oh, and the moon in Leo is also squaring your sun, that's a lot to take right now. You might feel like you're getting hit from all sides. But actually, you know, like my aunt said, you have to close one door before another one opens. And Scorpio, you are going to have a great year next year. When Jupiter goes into Pisces, which it just did, and trines your sun along with Neptune, which it's doing now, and Mars in Cancer is also trining your sun, it's going to be like an awakening for you. And you're going to learn an awful lot about things behind the scenes that you either didn't notice before or you didn't realize was going on, but you're going to learn all of that. And that will help you turn a corner and start something new in preparation for the great year you're going to have next year. So go ahead and conclude something right now. It may involve a disappointment, Scorpio. For instance, if you were planning on investing in something, you could be disappointed because the price is too high and you can't afford it. Well, that's a disappointment on that one, but it might close that door and open up another possibility. I don't think you should worry about that too much. The important thing for you is not to confront anybody right now. And also try to protect your own space and your own privacy. You don't need to be so available to everybody right now, Scorpio. And your sign rules secrecy. This is a time when you should just keep things to yourself. You know, I'm not so sure that you have a lot of friends around you right now. You could have people that want to challenge you instead because of these squares and oppositions. And if I were you, I would just go home, close the door, and avoid them. This too shall pass. Okay, what does it mean to a Sagittarian? Well, Sagittarius, there is a planet in a fire sign. It is the moon in Leo that is trine your sun. That's important to Sagittarius because you could be seeing the light. You could have somebody very nice around somewhere in your life, or you could get an invitation to attend a really fun concert or to go to some sports activity that you would enjoy, which would be great. Or it would be even better if you were thinking of going on a trip because your sign rules travel. Well, some change is coming up for you, Sagittarius. This may just be the calm before the storm when you should take a little time to think about the kind of changes that you would like to see in your life. Because next week, there is a total lunar eclipse in your sign at 5 degrees. And that's definitely going to affect you. And there's another solar eclipse 6 months after that this year during the holidays. So you really are going to be taking at least a half step, a pretty good half step towards something new. At the same time, someone else could be doing that as well. So Sagittarius, I wouldn't be in too much of a rush right now. Wait and see what happens. But if I were you, I'd at least have one bag packed just in case you get a chance to take a trip, because you might. Okay, what does it mean to a Capricorn? Well, Capricorn, this is a time when some financial transaction has to be concluded. I don't think it's necessarily you that has to do the concluding, but I do think you're the one that is going to be affected by it. And the reason why I say that is because Uranus and the Sun in Taurus are trining your sun sign where you have Pluto, but the Sun is at the 29th degree of Taurus. And Taurus rules investments. So some financial matter has to be concluded now. It may also involve some sort of relationship that somehow is dealing with children's matters in one way or another, or some sort of business deal that involves children as well. And I would say that Capricorn, you know, I don't think that it's necessarily your family that may be affected by a financial transaction, but it's somebody that you know that you do have a relationship with, and they are the ones that have to come to a financial decision or conclusion. And if I were you, I'd be rather tactful and stand back and see what decision they're coming to. In other words, don't influence them. Just, let it happen, or wait and see what they do. And then you can make a comment. But now would not be the time to make the comment. You need to wait until the dust settles and then decide how you want to react to it. So just be quiet for now. Okay, what does it mean to an Aquarian? Well, Aquarius, this is a time when you can certainly be very popular, particularly with young people, because Venus and Mercury in Gemini are trining your sun where you have Saturn. Jupiter has moved on now. It has gone into Pisces, where it's going to stay until the end of July, but it'll be retrograde sooner or later. It's going to come back into your sign, Aquarius, by the end of July, and then it will stay in your sign until the end of the year. And then Jupiter will move on and finally move into Pisces in 2022 for quite a while. So I would say, Aquarius, that you may be wondering who burst your bubble. You could be wondering, okay, how come things are not so forward-thinking or not so exciting right now? Or maybe, why is nothing happening? Well, it's probably because Jupiter has moved on, and Jupiter is a very good planet. It brings you expansion, and it brings you all kinds of opportunities, and it makes you very hopeful. But that planet has moved on, and now only one planet is in your sign, and it's Saturn. Saturn is a planet of time, and it is a demanding planet. It involves having to meet very high standards. And it simply means that if you can't meet those standards and do things in a proven manner, then you can't. And that, if you can't do that, it would affect your future, Aquarius. You need to rethink your future. You need to ask yourself just how committed you want to be to doing something your way, or do you need a helping hand? You might. So you are a person that is probably going to realize that there has to be a conclusion to a financial matter now. The sun is at 29 degrees of Taurus, squaring your sun sign, and Uranus, your own ruler, is in Taurus, squaring your sun sign. Uranus is a malefic planet, and so is Saturn. These two malefic planets are challenging each other, and the moon in Leo is opposing Saturn in your sign. Somewhere in your relationships, Aquarius, things are not working out very well. And I don't know what to advise other than if you just wanted to sort of lighten up a little bit, that would really help you and somebody else. And the reason why is that Venus and Mercury in Gemini are trining your sun, which is good. If you just wanted to take a short trip and go have some fun for a while, that may solve more problems than you think, Aquarius. So if you can just relax and be with other people for a while, I think you could probably get a fresh start, and you may need one. Okay, what does it mean to a Pisces? Well, Pisces, this is a wonderful time for you because Jupiter finally came into your sign. It's only going to stay there for 2 months. It'll be gone. It'll be back in Aquarius by the end of July. But don't worry, it will leave Aquarius at the end of the year and come into your sign for all of 2022. Going to have a great year next year, Pisces. So this is a time for you to sort of kiss and make up with a lot of people. Now, Pisces are very easygoing people, but they have their own ideas about things as well. And this is a time when, you should try to be a little bit more in the middle or centered in some way, Pisces, because you'll have this wonderful opportunity to expand, or you'll have the possibility of expanding in the next 2 months. And they're not going to be particularly easy months, but I think that with Jupiter in your sign, first, you're going to have protection, which is good. And you could even be protected from your own little faults. And, you could turn over a new leaf, Pisces, and you could get serious about something, but it would be something that would build on your future and make you very proud. And for Pisces who are a little bit older, they may be thinking of retirement as well. But whatever happens, you are one lucky sign, Pisces, because Jupiter has now hit your sign and your ruler is in your sign as well. This will be a terribly creative time for you. And you should not put off your creativity. You should, anytime you get the instinct to take a picture or do some artwork or do anything that's creative, you should go to it. No excuses, just do it, Pisces. You will love it. All right, thanks so much for tuning in. Remember, you can see the show and read our blog on our website, starborninstitute.org. Bye.